Hello everyone, it's Tracy Lewin.
And Mavanwi Smith. How are you doing today, Tracy?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's been another one of those incredible weeks. I think we say this every single week, but this week has been a particularly interesting one, and it's going to get even more so as we go along in this journey.
Wow, we've been on one hang of a ride, and I can't see it slowing down for a while yet either. So it's exciting times, as you say. But Joe, we keep saying it every week, but it's the truth.
So if anybody out there is listening, I mean, do you actually doubt that we are Bitcoin believers? I think there's no doubt.
Funny.
And today, this is such an interesting topic that you've chosen. I mean, secret employee. Merv, what is that?
What is that? Well, Tracy, a couple of things have happened, and we've spoken to a couple of people, and what sparked this was the listeners will remember Peter Murray, who's been talking to us for the last couple of weeks. But he said something quite interesting, and he said, you know what, if we would just have a look at the stuff that we spend our money on, we would be able to save some and put it into Bitcoins. And that's what I want to discuss today. So our secret employee is employing our cash. That's our secret employee.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what we want to do. And you may, some of the people may know or may not know, I have a financial background. So when I looked at these kinds of things, it just made so much sense. But let's just sound something off on you. For instance, how many times haven't we really bust ourselves to get a job done and whatever, and we say, sure, that was a good job, we're going to reward ourselves. Have you ever done that, Tracy?
Yes.
Yes. Like we say, I really earned it this week, I've really worked hard, so I'm going to have this glass of wine, or I'm going to have this really exotic cup of coffee, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I do.
The problem with that is, and we were discussing this with some people yesterday, is that the reality is we spend a lot of money that we don't need to. So we're all guilty of this kind of thinking of where we've really worked hard, and then we say we've earned this treat of whatever. I'm not saying you can't always have treats, but let's just put it with the filter of we're trying to find money within our day-to-day budgets to be able to buy more Bitcoins. And that's the focus of what I'm trying to say. So the scenario is if we had a cup of coffee every day and it cost us $5, for instance, if we had $5 every day of the week, that amounts to $150 a month. It's a fair chunk of change. And if we extrapolate that to the year, that equals $1,800, for instance. That's a lot of money, And what could that money buy us? Especially as we could really just go home and have a nice cup of coffee ourselves for a couple of pennies.
Yeah. You know what I think, it's all about priorities in life, and if you really want to get somewhere, there are some sacrifices that you need to make, and as long as you've got your vision, as long as you've got your goal, and you know where you're going, and you've got a way to get there, you need to have there are times where you are going to make sacrifices, because that's what you need to do to get to where you want to be.
Well, exactly.
And even if it's a small thing like a cup of coffee. But yeah, I mean, how many times have you gone into a shop and bought something and thought, oh, well, you know what? I know this is a bit tight now, but I'm going to lose 5Ks. And then 6 months down the line, you open up your cupboard and there's that same garment sitting, and you still haven't lost your 5Ks. So there's
even still have the tag on, right?
Yeah, and we waste so much. We really waste so much. So you need to really have a look at your everyday expenses and see where your money is going to.
Yeah, I think two things here. Firstly is that if we have a goal that we're trying to achieve, it's easy then to be able to give up the cup of coffee a day scenario, you know, because then you could take that $5 and put it into a bowl and just at the end of the month say, sure, look what I've got, I can buy some Bitcoins. So I think that's probably where we go wrong, is we don't have that goal of what we want to achieve by making that little sacrifice. So if we have that, it's going to be a whole lot easier.
Absolutely. And you know what, I just want to tell you what my son does. What he does is he doesn't, if he breaks whatever, you know, whatever paper money he's got, if he breaks it and he gets coins, he never ever keeps the coins. He always puts those coins away in a jar. And he actually ends up with a huge amount of money. You know, I mean, it's a jar full of money, but actually it's quite a substantial amount. And you know, that change would have either been lying in your bag or lying in the car, or you know, being spent on something. When you actually do accumulate your change like that, it's amazing how much it actually adds up to. So that's one of the rules that he has. He never ever carries around change.
Well, I think there's a lot to that. And I think, you know what, in the weeks to come, maybe what I should talk about is how just some practical ways of being able to reduce debt, for instance, you know. But that's our secret employee, is our cash. You know, let's employ it to do the right things and not give us guilty pleasures.
Yeah, that's actually a very good move. Thank you very much. Good point. So today, today we need to protect our families, because I mean, after all, that's what's most important to us. So this is about protecting your family in times of financial uncertainty. You know, the world is going through a lot of change. Economies are changing. There's all sorts of stuff, you know, political stuff going on at the moment. So a lot of this is causing the devaluation of fiat currency. Cost of living is going up. I mean, you know, I spent some time overseas. I came back home and I couldn't actually believe how expensive a little container of nuts was. You know, it was quite shocking. And to see the prices continually going up. You know, fuel is another thing. Fuel also goes up all the time. You know, every now and then, in fact, it wasn't every now and then, very probably on less occasions, we do have decreases in fuel prices. But the trend is that those fuel prices are just going one way. Okay, stock markets. You know, also of recent times, there's been some real bad losses in stock markets, and a lot of this is also pointing towards, you know, this looming recession that people are talking about. You know, what is going to happen? Is one political decision in one country, you know, how can it affect the rest of the world? And yes, actually it can, because we are so connected in this world today.
Well, and look what happened, Tracy, look what happened with the exit, Britain's exit of the EU. That affected the entire world.
Yeah, the entire world, and you know, and still it's going to affect the world, because that story is unfolding, and then there's just so much difference between what politicians are saying and what the people are saying, and it's really, there's a huge disconnect there, and it's causing people are unhappy because their lives are not. Their lives are not getting any better. It's just getting more and more stressful. I mean, as we know, as women, there's many women that have their children and then they go out to work, because you have to have two salaries. You know, education is so expensive. So these are also the other things, you know, in terms of your lifestyle. I mean, we still need to live. We still need to enjoy life, because we are given only one life. You know, we need to look after our health. What about our health care? What about if we get ill? What about education? You know, education is a child's birthright, and we need to educate them, but we need money for that. We also need to, like I said, enjoy life and go on holiday. There are special occasions that come up. Then what about savings, sitting in a bank, hardly earning any interest? And that goes right back to the devaluation of the fiat currency.
Yeah.
So, there are issues there. What about retirement? I mean, do you know that I've said this before. I've got some money in a retirement plan, and you know what the sad thing is that is not growing. And the reason it's not growing is because last year we had issues around China. This year, it's also going to be looming recession and stock markets that have been crashing, and China again, and the story just carries on. So I really just wanted to talk about something really exciting that's happening. Amongst all that, all the drama that's going on around the world, amongst all that, all the issues that everybody is facing, we are moving into a very, very exciting time. And in actual fact, we are really at the forefront and in the beginning of this incredible wave. And it's actually a new digital economy. And it's been brought about by Bitcoin and the blockchain. And with that, it's bringing new jobs.
Mm-hmm.
It's creating new wealth. I mean, in terms of jobs, by the way, anybody who's in a technical environment, and they wanted to learn and they wanted to get more involved with all the IT side of things, there's huge growth in that area, in that space. Big companies are looking for expertise. In terms of wealth, definitely. I'm going to show you a couple of graphs just now, and you can see exactly where this is going. New technology is happening all the time. So maybe it's different applications. Maybe it's different startup businesses that are going around this new technology. So the opportunities are there. And this industry is going to grow in value, and it really, really is going to. But you have to embrace it. The first thing is that you actually have to just get started.
Yeah.
So, question.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Carry on, Move. Sorry.
I was just going to say, in times of uncertainty, where there's stress and strain, like in the Great Depression, etc., some of the quickest ways of becoming a millionaire are in those times of stretch and struggle. And with whatever is happening around us, it makes sense of what you're saying, that new jobs and wealth, and because of the new technology, new opportunities and things are coming up, because people then are no longer stagnating in their everyday thinking. They are moving past that and having to find innovative ways of bringing their future to them. So that is extremely exciting to me, and the whole Bitcoin technology is just, it's booming.
Absolutely. And every single week there are new things happening.
Yeah.
I just love it.
It's just,
but I wanted to ask you this question. How would you like to see what would have happened if you, exactly 1 year ago, you decided to buy some Bitcoin and you held it. And you just kept that Bitcoin either in a wallet, an online wallet, or an offline wallet, or just like that. What do you think the growth would look like?
Tracy, I think the growth would have been incredible. I did have a Bitcoin, but it was the end of August, so it's not a year ago. And I'm blown away. Please show me your figures, because, I have this, oh my word.
Well, do you know what? Well, you know what? There was this one on the top left is the pound. And these figures are from, from the 29th of June.
Yes.
Sorry, the 30th of June 2015 to the 29th of June 2016, right?
Wow.
These, if you had bought exactly 1 year ago in England with your pounds, you would have, obviously there's two thresholds here. There's the low one and the high one. So, the Bitcoin price does move above around about in the middle, or might go to the low threshold, might go higher. And but what it is 305% you would have made on your money.
Wow.
In 1 year if you bought pounds. This is against the pound.
Yeah.
And 262% if it was on the low. Can you believe that? I mean, I just I had to actually redo these numbers. I did these numbers about 5 times, and because I couldn't, they just sounded just too ridiculous to believe.
Yeah.
And then look at the dollar. The dollar
Amazing.
it actually grew by 265%. The rand, the South African rand, is 322%. And the Brazilian real is 255%.
That's amazing. But you know what, Tracy, what this is showing me is just confirming what we've been saying, is just get in, and hold on to those coins. Because that is definitely, how easy is it to be able to just buy something and then just sit and hold it? And look what would have happened, 322% for us in South Africa. That's incredible.
Well, you know what? These numbers are so mind-blowing. I mean, where do you get this kind of growth? There's no way. So now, for instance, if you have a plan, because remember, there's a lot of innovation happening at the moment. So you may want to have a smart contract. They're building smart contracts on top of the Bitcoin blockchain. And if you had a smart contract and you decided to save either for your retirement or for an occasion like, let's say, a 21st birthday. In fact, I'm going to be doing that for my 3 grandchildren. I'm actually going to give them 1 Bitcoin each, and it's going to expire on their birthdays. And I promise you right now, that money is going to be huge.
It's going to be astronomical.
Yeah, it is. It is. And this is what you need to do. We need to think smart. We need to think smart, and we need to take care of our future and take care of our children's future. And that means our retirement. That means our savings. And also, like you say, employ that secret employee, because you could actually even save a small amount every single month, put it into Bitcoin, and have a real splash up holiday in a year.
Yeah. Well, Tracy, I keep saying this. You must be so sick and tired of me giving you the same figures. But my first Bitcoin, the end of August, it was the 30th of August, 2015. I bought it for 3,475 Rand. Today, buying at the same place would cost me 10,500 Rand.
Yes.
It's just, I've seen it. That's 10 months ago. It's just amazing.
Okay, so what I want to say to people is, look, you can look at these numbers and you think, oh well, whatever, It's if I get in now, I've missed the boat. But actually, no, you haven't missed the boat. We are coming up to some very important time. The Bitcoin creation is halving. There's political instability. There's Bitcoin now becoming an asset class on its own. There's regulation coming in. There's just so much happening. More consumer adoption, more and more investor adoption. There's a hang of a lot of growth actually coming from China, believe it or not, they are, because also the Chinese economy is taking strain. So yeah, people are looking for places to invest their money. So they're looking for growth because they want to hold on to their wealth. And look at these numbers. I mean, where are you going to see growth like this?
Certainly not in the stock exchange. And that's where most people put their faith. And the reality is they're not even getting 15%. 15% per annum as opposed to 322% or 305%. It's just, wow. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
so
even if you take
was in here, that's for sure.
even if you take the low threshold, I mean, these numbers are unbelievable.
No, they are.
But I thought I needed to, if I just put these numbers on the screen without these supporting graphs, you guys would have laughed at me.
Yeah, they say a picture.
All I want to say.
A picture paints a
A
picture.
Yes, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
So there you go. Take that leap of faith.
Yes.
And you know, I'm absolutely delighted that I am. That I've done this, and I'm really trying to encourage people out there to do the same. I mean, you know, you don't have to start with millions. You can start with a small amount and get to learn Bitcoin, play around with it, move it around, do whatever you want to do with it. But I promise you right now, you will not regret this leap. And yeah, that's really what I wanted to say today. I mean, today, just a little bit of proof as to what would have happened if you had just bought some Bitcoin 1 year ago. Now, in a year's time, we might be having that same graph and the same conversation. What would have happened if you had taken that leap of faith when we asked you to at the end of June 2016?
Yeah. Absolutely, Tracy. So I think we should just all make a commitment and figure out exactly what is it that we're wanting to do, put a bit of a goal or a vision before us, and then start drinking less cappuccinos so that we can have the money to buy the Bitcoins, because there is money in each one of our budgets that we could squeeze a bit. If you have the desire, you're going to get there. And like your slide says, just take that leap of faith.
Absolutely. And on that note, I'll talk to you next week.
Yes, till next week for another exciting week. Thanks, Tracy.
Yes, have an awesome week.
Cheers, guys.
Cheerio.